There was the funeral, and then all of a sudden, like out in the back, there was Misty Knight, Luke Cage, T'Challa.
T'Challa?
Whatever his name is, I can't remember. Storm. And they all kind of like congregated there, and they were all sort of like sat there, and kind of like it was a real big part of the graphic was these characters all coming together because they're the black characters that were kind of like in it. And I just don't know what it was trying to say, what the commentary was trying to say at the moment. Because I remember in the original first Civil War, it was Ben Foster, not Ben Foster.
No, Bill Forster, the Goliath, Black Goliath.
But there was never any kind of like moment within the Civil War series when all
where
the
there was
black
some kind of
characters
racial
got
kind
around
of
and kind of like talked about it. So because in Civil War there was a lot of profiling and sort of like parallel comparisons between a race war and things like that. It's just a weird. I just didn't know. Maybe
I didn't pick up on that, but you kind of got a point there because on the one hand is you had the fact that Rhodey and Captain Marvel had a past relationship. Yeah. You have the fact that the Blue Marvel was now the new Reed Richards. But the main thing you also had was the prediction that the Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales, was going to kill the god Captain America. Yeah. Because we didn't know then that Captain America was going to become evil within the Secret Empire. So, I mean, that is pretty interesting. I haven't taken note of all of that. And probably with Riri Williams being the new Ironheart as well.
I mean, it was sort of like you because I've got all 154 of the tie-ins and everything. I've read all through. And all the tie-ins, you kind of like...
I'm leaning out. You should lean out.
There was a massive kind of like... massive thing put on, the new Miss Marvel. Miles Morales. There's a lot more of a shift into that, and I can see why Marvel are doing it. Because
they're all new, all different diversity.
Yeah, but what I liked, there were things like Mrs. Marvel, where it was just a story. She meets, in passing, it was about her Pakistan upbringing, and kind of like one of the family was arranging a wedding and stuff. It was all in passing. It was all put up to it. I felt that some of these things, though, were just kind of like brought up there to make notes about something that I wasn't necessarily aware of, and I don't know.
You bring out an interesting topic. I mean, this is Essentials. We're back. Chase and the hijacker with James Brooksbank, and we're in the middle of a conversation about Civil War II, and I didn't know it was going to go down this route, which I think is really interesting actually because. Now that Generations and Legacy is out, that they're kind of going to move away from their diversity year of Marvel. And I think that because they were in this whole diversity year of Marvel, that they decided to make the storytelling more on this racial focus that you were pointing out. Because there still is also the Falcon, Captain America, the Black Captain America.
But there was a big story plot there about Captain. About
he loses the shield.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't lose the shield. Not in the tie-ins or anything like that. He might have done.
Well, he's not Captain America.
No, he is. In Civil War 3, he's still Captain America. Captain America does come back, but
I'm thinking about Secret Empire.
Yeah, you're thinking Secret Empire. But Civil War, I mean, there is this big kind of like they bring in these cyborg cops in the Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Cyborg cops, and there's the white coalition of upper people who are saying he's not our Captain America. He doesn't stand up for the ideologies of that, which I think is it's definitely kind of like looking at some of the stuff that does go on in the background.
Mm-hmm. But so what did you think about this line of storytelling in the home? I know you didn't read everything, but like this line of storytelling of making everything more racial fueled because it's diversity. Why couldn't it just be that they were heroes of different nationalities?
I think, but I'm personally, and I don't mean this to be any offensive, but
here we go.
I could not.
His wife is Asian.
No, but I couldn't. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way that I am or my upbringing because I'm not in this kind of situation. But I don't when I'm reading a book like that, I don't notice anything about the skin color or anything like that.
Don't play that role on me, man, because then I have to go to you. Oh man, I got black friends.
Yeah, no, but all I'm saying is that those storylines jumped out at me more as kind of going. They force-fed it more in your face, like making you eat the must. Yeah, and I wasn't quite... When I pick up a comic, I mean, I can't remember DC doing something along that line. There's not a story arc that I remember reading recently where it was very heavily on...
Justice Society with the Amazing Man. They just plopped the black guy in there at the time of the 60s.
Yeah, but I mean, was there suddenly a point where kind of like one of the characters dies, and then a group of like all Asian character died, and all the Asians kind of like go, we lost one. We lost one. We've all got to kind of like I don't know. I think that this part of it just feels forced and didn't feel natural, and to those characters. I mean, I understand there was always bad blood between Black Panther and Storm and stuff like that.
No, they were
mad, but they split up.
Yeah, but they didn't have bad blood.
Well, no, I mean there was some. I can't remember what it was in the story arc, but I just felt that it was kind of like forced to fit into this commentary at the moment, and it didn't add anything to the storyline because at the end of it, they just walked away.
Well, I mean, Black Panther and Storm ended up doing the crew. The Wakanda story and everything like that with Misty Knight and all that. So something came out of this.
Yeah. So I mean, and I know that Falcon and Misty Knight are getting down.
They were getting down, but Falcon was also supposedly trying to get down with Jane Foster, the female Thor. I mean, he thought the Falcon is Captain Kirk, man.
As someone who. I mean, I only picked up Civil War 2. It's the first time I kind of like read a proper series, like the recent arc. It's been a year now since it's been on. I got lost by all the love triangles that are kind of like going into it. Like Rhodey and Captain Marvel, kind of like, okay, I got that one. Then it's just
you had to have read the.
There's loads of. There's some good stuff. There's the great moment where there's a great story when Tony goes to have an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
I don't know, because I can't understand the ghost Tony, because he's supposed to be somewhere drunk and everybody hates him because he's relapsed. But we always get to see the drunk Tony. What do you mean, when's that? That's been going on in Civil War 2.
I've just finished Civil War 2. There's not one point he gets alcoholic in the entirety saga of Civil War 2. The last.
Man, because you
sorry. The last.
But in Secret Empire, maybe. Which comes after Civil War too.
Yeah, Secret Empire. But I've not read any Secret Empire. I'm waiting until it all comes out.
Okay, but you're not reading Iron Man either because Tony gives up the Iron Man persona, gives it over to Reeve Williams.
He gets knocked unconscious and he doesn't come out of his coma.
Unfortunately, okay, maybe that's what it is. We got Ghost Tony because he's in the coma.
Yeah, that's it. That's why.
All right, okay. So I didn't know because I stopped reading Civil War 2.
See, Civil War 2, but the thing, there's some great,
so why was I getting Ghost Tony?
No, but what I'm going on about with the stories is this live Tony. But there is a great moment where he goes to an AA meeting, and he says that he can't go to his normal one because the sponsor is Captain Marvel, and so they go to a separate meeting and they kind of talk, and it's this really there's some deep stuff that goes on to it and where the point is. I felt I enjoyed it, but I thought that
it sounds out of place for a superhero story that's supposed to be. Not the sequel to Civil War, but supposed to be reminiscent of Civil War.
Yeah, but I think
it wasn't.
The reason why they went to war with each other, I think, is a complete.
Let me talk about that because I know this. It's based on a stupid concept, right? It's based on the old adage that if you knew what Hitler would do before he did it, would you stop him? So they come up with the fact that look, we can't get the X-Men involved into this, but we want to have a storyline where there could be two different points of view. So let's take that Hitler concept and we'll bring in the Inhumans. So they invent this character Archimedes, who has the second sight. Whatever, Ulysses, who has the second sight, and he could see potential futures, not definite futures.
No, it's the way it's described is as accurate it's
very
as accurate
close
as predicted.
to accurate.
But where the problem comes from is that it is accurate. But where Tony Stark's problem is sort of like, is what leads to that point us interfering now? What is
it's kind of like
if I go back in time to kill Hitler before he raises the things that might
it's kind of like Cisco saying, if we saw, since I seen the lightning bolt on your flash suit, does that make me make the lightning bolt on your flash suit?
It's that kind of thing. It's this cause and effect aspect. So Tony's kind of like saying, no, it's if we act on this, we're going to be the impetus to do that.
Right.
And Captain Marvel is like, no, but this is what's going to happen. We have to stop whatever this kind of reaction is.
Yeah.
And they used that whole celestial thing of the kind of thing, which I got really confused about. I was like, hold on, did I miss an issue here?
Well, if we're reading Ultimates, is what I'm trying to say. That's all about that.
But I just felt that it was a little bit. It wasn't as.
It wasn't as clear cut as the first Civil War.
I mean, the Superhero Registration Act. It was an immensely polarizing.
Yeah, you're giving up people's identities.
No. I mean, there was no kind. I mean, the one good thing about this one is there is moments in it where you kind of like going. Most people in the Civil War, were apart from Spider-Man, for instance, were kind of like, no, I'm still on this. Now I'll go this direction because I see where it's going. Whereas in this Civil War, there's a lot more people kind of like wishy-washy. Kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people, I mean, it's like fence sitting. A lot of people sitting on the fence, I don't know who's because they've been through it already. So those are people who've been through this already, this separation. It's like, are we going down this road again? Are we going to actually fight our friends again? I mean,
Danny and Luke Cage's reaction when they were driving away, go, oh, we got to get involved? No.
No, exactly. But I mean, and the thing about it is, that's why I think you can't talk about Civil War without talking about Secret Empire, in the sense where you have to know that that's where it comes from.
Do you think all the way through I mean, how much of Civil War did you read through?
Really bored.
There was moments in it, because I kind of, as I was reading through it, I was like, somebody's going to be manipulating these. And it kind of like...
there was never any manipulator, was it?
No, but there was a Captain America moment when Captain America manipulated a few moments.
Is that because you know who he was?
I mean, he was firmly in the Hail Hydra camp at that point, at the beginning of Civil War. He had Stellig working for him and everything, so, and what the...
Did they indicate that?
Yeah, he had him worshipping, he had his Hydra tattoo on him.
Yeah, no,
he was firmly in it, but basically what he was saying was, when Ulysses came up, he stopped all expansion plans and just put a halt on it because he didn't know what Ulysses would see about where he was going and what he was doing. And there was moments where there was moments where he was trying stuff, but the Captain America Secret Empire turning thing was really weird for us. There was a moment when he's there at the comatose body of Tony Stark, and he's doing this whole thing where he's talking about how much respect that he's got for him, and it sounds like the popular Captain America, and then at the end he goes, but I still wanted to see you die, and it sort of like goes into this weird, and it just I feel the same thing that I felt when I heard that Captain America's Secret Hydra is like, why don't you just... It's absolutely ridiculous.
To be honest, I've given up on comics for this year because first you had to do Pleasantville. What was it? Pleasantville? The one where Maria Hill had that whole town of supervillains, and they wiped their mind memories, and old Cap became young Cap again, and supposedly the Cube had something to do with Cap becoming evil Cap.
Yeah, it was an effect.
But then they were saying that he was always evil Cap, and from the beginning, and then Secret Empire was supposed to show you how, as a kid, he became evil Cap, and this was some big long con on all of us.
It has got to be. This is, it has got to be the worst thought out.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. It is three big event books. You can't look, when you said let's talk about Civil War 2, you can't look at one, especially the one in the middle, without looking at what came before it and what came after.
Yeah, but I mean, the Secret War stuff Secret Empire stuff only affects a small percentage of the Civil War 2 stuff.
No, because I think the big thing in Civil War 2 was Miles Morales killing Captain America on the steps.
That wasn't the big thing, though.
Well, to me, it was because I stopped reading. But like,
what happened in the end of the penultimate book was that Vision kind of like doing it, and then in the
But is it because he's evil, though?
No.
Well, no.
But the thing
in Secret Empire, man, there was supposed to be the whole thing that he knew he was evil.
Yeah, but the way they kind of if you carried on reading it, what happens after that is Miles goes to Washington to the steps, those steps.
Yeah, I remember seeing that bit.
And Captain America turns up, and that's kind of
like, kill me, lad, come and get me.
Yeah, it's not come get me.
Well, no, he was like, I believe in you. Go through it. You know, like. Oh, that's my time, son. I believe you go through it and, take me out.
So, I see what you're saying. So, like, was that kind of like a future, not of that future, but further down the line when it comes out from that? But that Secret Empire hasn't affected the Civil War II thing. Secret Empire doesn't need to have happened for that Vision thing to have come about. Civil War II impacts Secret Empire.
Yeah, but also,
it's not the other way around.
Yeah, but also too, there is the fact that
it's important.
There was also the factor though that in Secret Empire, Cap, how should you say, he gets the power of the president, and he creates this big shield around the Earth, and he puts Captain Marvel and the Guardians and the Ultimates and all on the other side of the shield. So, like, what I'm trying to say is the fact that, he's, like, in the background going, I think Claire's right. I mean, Carol's right. I think Tony's right. Whatever. He's playing both sides of the fence.
No, not in the story. Not from what I read in it.
It's Secret Empire, damn it.
Yeah, in Secret Empire, you're right. But in Civil War II,
it's the background. What I'm trying to say is you have to look at the next story, because what happens is they go back to Civil War II. They go back to his machinations, like you just said. You saw his tattoo. You saw him saying Hail Hydra. They go back to the fact that this was all going. He was evil Cap during Civil War II. You have to look at Secret Empire.
But in Civil War II, you actually have moments where Cap is sort of like talking to Stellig, kind of like going, this is my plan. This is how I'm playing this. I'm not playing this in any way to kind of get anything, because we're just gonna pick up where it's left off and pick up all the remnants. But we're not going to be playing both sides, because it's too. If you've got to imagine it. Captain America is up against this guy who can predict the future. If he starts going, what player it gets picked off. So if they talk about that in Secret Empire, again, it's just typical Marvel throwing something that previously existed here and throwing it up against the wall. It's not like the Skrull. It's not like the Skrull invasion and Civil War, where Skrull invasion kind of like it still had that bit where everyone's like, Tony Stark must be a Skrull. There was that really great that's what caused Civil War. It's not like that. It's like, this isn't. It just feels the Captain America stuff just feels weird.
Well, I feel that this is a good place to jump into what's happening with the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we're talking about after Infinity War, which is coming out. We're talking about that we're going to get Captain Marvel in a 10-year previous movie. And then comes the fourth Avengers film, which they are rumoring to be the Invasion.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, who could actually be a Skrull? Which means that you would have had to have been a secret Skrull. Wait, you would have had to have been a secret Skrull through Invasion, through the Infinity War, and possibly everything else. Now, because it's 10 years before they even actually all meet up and stuff, biggest rumor is that Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, why he wasn't in Infinity War and all that stuff, not just because he's too much money, but because he's going to actually become a Skrull. And I think he would like to do that. I think he would like to be, man, I love to go up against the Avengers. You know what I mean? What do you think?
No. I disagree. I don't know where you're pulling the Skrull out for the second part.
Could you just say this? Well, because that is the big rumor that the Skrull invasion is going to be the fourth.
The fourth Avengers movie is going. It's Avengers. There's Avengers 3, which is part 1 of the Infinity War. And then part 2 of the Infinity War.
Yeah, well, maybe they probably try to throw people off because that Gamora girl said it was called Gauntlet.
No, I think Gauntlet's a good title for the second part.
I do, but they don't want people to know that.
Marvel will make a really good decision if they split this up, because you cannot have you cannot rush.
Thing being part
you
of
can't
the
rush
thing.
that have this Thanos thing. You can't rush what's building up there. Captain Marvel would be a great place to start planting the seeds, and maybe do a movie after
the
Infinity War, to kind of like having like the Skrull invasion. But
contracts are all up though.
Yeah, but that would make him. That would be a really good way of kind of like getting rid of it.
No,
and,
just yeah.
I mean, Marvel have a load of things they can do. I mean, you can have Thor. You can turn Thor into Lady Thor. You could turn,
I don't know if that's what they're talking about.
Well, no, but I mean, you're talking about contract negotiations.
No.
You can always you can get a teenage genius. You could bring an Amadeus Cho kind of like character.
But they already got his sister in there.
Or clone Tony Stark and having teenage Tony Stark on the.
Nah, that would probably go for the Riri Williams route.
Or you could go the US agent territory with Captain America and have a US agent. So like thing.
Or Falcon Captain America. Or you got Bucky Captain America.
But his contract's going to be up, and so is Bucky's contract.
Man, he's going no place.
No. I mean, it'd be stupid for him.
He's going nowhere. He's going no place. But all right, how about the end of the fourth Avengers film revealing the Skrull?
No, I think Captain Marvel. I think that's where you bring the Skrulls in, and I think.
In the past they are going to bring the Skrulls in. What I'm just trying to say is that after she thinks that the adventure is over because she has that story that is just hers. What I'm just trying to say is that they said she's definitely going to be in 4, just like the Wasp is in 4. But what they're saying is that hey, where you been? Hey, I've been in the Pocket Universe. But either way is to end it with oh my God. Tony's a Skrull and everything like that, and then it ends, right? I mean, because Thanos' story is over, Tony has his big death, and then he's a Skrull. Don't you remember when Jessica, what was the name, Spider-Woman ended up being a Skrull? Or
Spider-Woman.
So it's going to be that, dude. Don't deny it.
I think a Skrull movie is right, but I just
you're right. 4 should be separated.
I don't think it's an Avenger. I don't think the Skrulls at that point are going to be danger territory for an Avengers worthy story. I think it would work better in a Captain America 2 kind of like
Avengers
story.
Initiative, man. The invasion. What are you talking about?
But the only reason the invasion works is because you've had 30 years of the Skrulls becoming cows. I know.
But we got like 10 to 15 years of the Avengers and actual actors being the Avengers.
And what I'm saying is that the Skrull introducing the Skrulls into Captain Marvel, and then after the Avengers doing a Captain America Civil War type thing with Captain Marvel fighting the Skrulls is better than sort of like doing something that brings all these characters together. I think that's just how I think it would work. Captain Marvel ends itself. That's if they don't get hold of the Fantastic Four. Again, they've got to get hold of that crap if they want to do. But again, Skrulls is one of those things. Is that a Fantastic Four property? Where's the lead?
No, it's not. It turns out that it's not. Marvel owns the Skrulls, but they don't own the named Skrulls. So like that would be Princess Anella, whatever. That would be.
But the Chitauri. The thing is, you're saying this. What I would accept.
Super Skrull.
Chitauri. The Chitauri are shapeshifters, though. The Chitauri are shapeshifters in the comic books, it's not out the question for after the first Avengers for a few Chitauri to be kind of like going around, and that I'd be a bit more accepting of at the end of that kind of like going. That's kind of
he's a Chitauri all this time. He's a Chitauri.
That kind of thing. But
that's true.
The Infinity Gauntlet kind of like blows up, and the stone kind of big wave comes up, and then
no.
I don't know. Bucky kind of like turns into a Skrull, turns into a Chitauri or something. But
that's why he killed my parents.
That's something. I would
cop out, but still,
But talking about things, let's criticise the Fantastic Four because I finally watched that after 2 years of it being released.
Were you doing Fantastic Four stick?
The Fantastic Four stick. Oh my God. That I've never seen a movie that's missed the point of a character basis so much as that movie. I honestly felt. I don't know what they were trying to do with it.
Well, let's look at it from that point. Did you like the first half hour where it was Cronenberg body horror movie?
No.
Okay, so that's what they were doing. Is that like Trank was going in a different route? Like when they came back out of the negative zone and they were like, "Oh, I'm dying." You didn't like that part.
No.
Okay, so neither did Marvel, or Fox. Neither did Fox. So then the movie said they went back to the drawing board and they did all this hatchet jobbing, and then the movie is totally.
Yeah, no, but I think every single point along the lines they just missed the point.
The best thing was the first scene in the movie
with Reed Richards, kind of like
as a kid.
Yeah, I think
that's the best scene of the whole movie.
There's not one character. I mean, I thought Ben Grimm was kind of like the most realistic Ben Grimm that I've kind of like
only
seen.
as a kid, but not when he comes. Not when he wakes him up and he comes.
Not
over
when he's trying to build up the Rock, but when you see Ben Grimm in action, you put a bit of pants on him, pair of pants on him. I think that's possibly the best looking Ben Grimm. But
Ben Grimm, the Thing version.
The Thing version.
Say the Thing.
Much better the Thing. So I like to call people by their names.
I know. But
But I thought better than Michael Chiklis and infinitely better than that freaking 1990s.
Yeah. But then we have the race comment of like turning Johnny Storm black, Franklin Storm black, and Sue still is white.
I don't know. I didn't really care. I didn't really care about that.
I did.
I thought Johnny Storm's character was still fairly sort of like
no, he wasn't
strict.
because he was only supposed to help out for a car.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then all of a sudden he's gung ho and into everything, and it's like he forgot all about his whole desires.
It might have been a bit Batgirl from Batman. Batman and Robin, so like she does sound like that whole basic thing. From just based on that, you think, oh, she'll make a good action hero. And
the idea of the four of them, because only four could go through into the negative zone, and Sue is relegated to sit out.
Yeah, and so like they bring all that radiation. What's with the whole Doctor Doom?
All that old radiation. What, like all of a sudden lights are going, ping, 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 I'm turning invisible.
Doctor Doom's what was Doctor Doom's body sock? It basically just looked like it's sort of like it's sort of like a balding sock. I've got to stand here. I'm not going. People have criticised. You watched the original Spider-Man and Willem Dafoe in that mask that's showing no emotion there.
Yeah.
It is like, at least at that, you kind of look and go, okay, but it's still kind of like Kitschy in the Power Rangers kind of way. That looked awful. It was sort of, we'll try and make a really scary villain, but give him no ability to.
But it's like, did the negative zone have no time? Because like when they left and then they came back, he's like, you left me for too long of a time. Something like that.
I mean, there was so many things that kind of like, what was his... there's just...
he had no motivation because first, I hate you, Reed Richards. And then we could hang out and we could have fun in this kind of montage scene. Then I still hate you, Reed Richards.
I got the motivation for kind of like at the end. He's sort of like, he was kind of like going... I don't want the negative zone to be discovered and then used for sort of like by our government. And he goes off there. They finally do it, and then they come back. The first people that he sees are the government people trying to figure out how they can use the resources for them. So I understand why he's frustrated. I could understand that. It would be kind of like, I couldn't understand that.
No, I hated that scene where they're like they get drunk and they're like, only we could go through because they'll take this from us. And they act like this is like the big game that they got to win.
The smartest people on the planet all think it's a good idea to go in to somewhere where they don't even know how alcohol's going to affect kind of like the thing.
Yeah.
No,
I don't even know how they got into the suits.
No, how smartest people on the planet decide this green goop, let's pick it up. There's just...
let's touch it.
Yeah. And how dumb is Ben? So like Ben, Ben.
Well, Ben is dumb. He's not a scientist.
Gets woken up. Travels 40 minutes. What have they been drinking? They said before it takes him 40 minutes to get from his bed to there. I was thinking, how much more drink will they have been having until they get there? The fact that they can still walk and put on those really complicated suits. Maybe that's why it blew up because they were just too drunk.
Is he supposed to be the voice of reason, or is he just like Why are we waiting for this guy? We waited an hour for this dude. Why?
It's a you know it's
well,
a bit,
he's my friend, and
I mean it's a bit of a rocky reason.
But Sue, as a scientist, she helped us all make this. So if anybody should have been left behind, it should have been Ben.
Yeah, but she was sort of, you know, she wasn't willing to get
She's
drunk.
a girl.
She's a girl. She wasn't willing to take part in getting drunk. The I mean, you know, I thought out of all of them, I thought Johnny Storm was possibly the best actor.
Well, because Michael B. Jordan is the best actor.
Yeah, I thought he was the best one. I love her. I mean, I love her in other things that she's done, but
Kate Mara.
Yeah, Kate Mara. Very disappointed in.
Yeah, but see, also too is I read a lot of stories or watched a lot of videos, and it's funny how, like, you know, I don't know if you would notice it, but you probably, if you bothered to look at it again, is that through all the reshooting and stuff, which includes that scene of her like being left behind, she has different hair lengths. Because they had to go back and reshoot to make, you know,
I mean,
the movie somewhat makes sense.
There's so much kind of like wrong with the movie. I didn't really notice that part. I was kind of like, you know, there was. I'm
just saying, you know, it's a horrible movie.
It was very horrible.
Yeah, very horrible.
Shall we?
So anyway, so in moving on is like you know, before we go back to television, I want to talk about, that's what the topic we were supposed to talk about was television, because I wanted to talk about it. Now, I know you haven't seen it yet and everything, not like the millions of people who have, where it's like, you know, the highest grossing horror film ever, but we were talking about the original It TV show and how people were complaining that yes, it was boring because it was a TV movie. And I was saying, well, obviously, as a TV movie, they had the TV budget, and they weren't trying to scare the life out of you and all of that other kind of stuff. But, sorry. Stop. All right. I was saying that because it was a TV movie, one of the things was the iconic creation from Tim Curry of Pennywise. So a lot of people was thinking that, oh, this is going to be sacrilegious because Bill Skarsgård looks nothing like the Pennywise that I remember, that I was terrified by, and all of that. So then we started talking about like horrific TV movie, TV films and stuff. And I thought, yeah, so it definitely, as a TV movie of its time, was scary and was great and stuff. And we were talking about other films that were made on TV that were scary. Like I said, Trilogy of Terror, which is actually an episode of Trilogy of Terror and everything like that with Karen Black. And the Zuni doll, the Ethiopian Zuni doll. You remember that one? Yeah. Where she like chased throughout her house by the, you know, and it was the most scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, because it always just was stabbing. It was always close-ups of the stabbing, and it had these really horrible teeth. And so when it finally had possessed her, you know, and like she's on the phone telling somebody, yeah, come on over, yeah, it's all cool, I'll leave the door open. And then we cut to her face, and she got the Zuni teeth, and she's like the doll, like a warrior with the knife. I thought classic horror, and you were saying some other stuff that you thought was really horrifying.
All I was saying when I was growing up, the things, maybe it's because I had a TV in my room, I could watch this stuff as stupid.
Which it shouldn't be, but yes.
So things like the Tommy Knockers, for some reason, creeped me out. Something well, and Salem's Lot, as you mentioned.
That's right, Salem's Lot. We were both agreed on Salem's Lot.
And it wasn't until, I mean, I don't know if you ever see The Fast Show. Have you ever seen The Fast Show? A British TV
I'm aware of it, but I'm only aware of that.
There was a Nosferatu kind of like piss take that they do on that. It wasn't until after I watched Salem's Lot, I was really creeped out until they did that, because I was, you know, this sort of like monster. Yeah. But Salem's Lot, Children of the Corn, I thought was quite a disturbing film. The one with Christopher Reeve.
Well, that was a movie, but The Stand was a TV miniseries.
Okay. Yeah,
so if The Stand.
Oh no, I never watched The Stand. Oh.
Yeah, I had to have watched the stand. The Apocalypse ended.
But, you know...
Which also was supposed to be Randall Flagg, which also was supposed to be the Man in Black from that new movie with Idris Elba.
But you go
Dark
into,
Tower.
there's a great the Twilight Zone, obviously.
Oh,
the ones that hit me more. Yeah.
But I was gonna say about Salem's Lot was that the scariest moment in that was when the kid is outside the window. And he's like not tapping on the window to get his friend to open up the window, and you like.
Is that scratching? The kind of like the scratching motion that's on the window and everything.
Yeah. And you're like, don't do it, and it's his best friend. How could he not? And I'm of that age and stuff like that.
To be fair, if you saw your best friend just floating outside your room, and you could see. I mean, to be fair, when you're a kid, you're not really fucking going to be asked about being turned a vampire. What you going to go do again? Exactly. I'm all up for it.
Exactly. For it. But what I was the reason why I brought that point up is that one, and not only because it was so scary, but because of like the new It movie, I was saying to you is that they were breaking the holy rules of children in this movie, where without spoilers, because it'll be like a non-spoiler review, but is that like kids get hurt in this movie. And and that was different because we get a lot of these Spanish directors and foreign directors making films like Mama
Centipede.
And what?
Human Centipede.
No, not Human Centipede. I mean like Annabelle or Mama or something that involves kids in it. And like
I didn't know you were talking about things involving kids.
Yes, I was. I was talking about horror films. There's an American not pagan, but there's an American thing about don't touch kids, don't
kill kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, but foreign directors don't have that rule. So you get those films that are been out, and but so made by Andy Muschietti, who I think he did a film called Mama or something like that, and and everything. So. He goes for it, and he's like, look, people said Mark Hamill said it wasn't scary. He probably said it wasn't scary enough, which he's lied because I'm pretty sure he hit his eyes a couple of times. But it's scary because of what happens to them. It's because there's like damage, and there's screams, there's horror. This is not a spoilery, but this is like the best. I couldn't have asked for any better with this movie. And this is not even a spoiler, but there's going to be an adult version of it.
No, I mean...
That's not even a spoiler. You know it because it's integral. And, but what it is also, too, is if you remember the series, they went back to the book. Mm-hmm. And they've actually, added in, like, those characters and stuff, which was new. I mean, even though I read the book as a kid, but, I mean, I'm big on the miniseries. So, I mean, they have different fears that the kids have to face. But it's different. It's cool that because with the miniseries, because it was all about the adults and the kids, that like we had to keep going back and forth. And maybe that's where, you're thinking that was kind of boring. I mean, there was big pockets of when it was the kids, but the adults was like, you got to come back to Derry, and then they'll flash back to what happened to them. This is all just centered on the kids.
But
it was just amazing because they were all fantastic actors, and it's fantastic.
I mean, I sort of like it's kind of hard for me to imagine anyone beating Tim Curry for pretty much any role that he does. So like but I'll tell you what, Bill Skarsgård, it looks absolutely terrifying, and that's.
Let me finish this on by saying, and it's not a spoiler because he talked about it on one of those Jimmy Kimmel.
There's a spoiler if you've not seen the Jimmy Kimmel episode.
Freak that. Anyway, Bill Skarsgård, who is Stellan Skarsgård's son, Alexander Skarsgård's brother, he does this drooling thing, which is like, there's so many close-ups on him. And he does this drooling thing, which is like, I'm like, is that really his mouth? His mouth is really like, he's got that dripping lip and everything. But he does something that he actually does, which freaked me out when I watched the movie, especially in IMAX. So in that scene when just press it, man. Yeah. So in that scene, that opening scene with Georgie in the sewer, and he first appears, right? And you see this close up, you see it, but does this thing with his eye. He has like a left eye, right? You know what I mean by left eye? His eye, he could turn his eye out. And so when I saw it on the screen, because he's obviously wearing contacts and stuff, so when I saw it on the screen, I was like, oh, that's so freaking, freaky. And then so when he was on Kimmel and Kimmel pointed that out, he's like, yeah, I actually could do that. It's like, what? It was so perfect casting. It was so, I just had to talk about it because nobody talks about it. It's just amazing. His eye just goes like this, and it's like as if it's looking at you, the audience. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was freaky. Gotta see it. You gotta see it.
It's the small things for you, isn't it?
What?
It's the small things for you, isn't it? Gotta say, you have to say, what is it? There is something with that. If you were ever kind of like going to talk about how aliens have come down, impregnated someone to create the perfect genetic species, that Skarsgård family must be kind of like leading the way on that whole thing. I mean, the talent.
He's got 4 other brothers.
Yeah, I know, and they're all like Viking gods, kind of like, you could literally. Yeah. You were talking about contract disputes with Thor. You could literally kind of go, that one's ended, that one's
Alexander could have been Thor because he was Tarzan.
I'm
a man and I don't care.
That is basically an Asgardian kind of like family just being brought up there.
Yeah.
And it's. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that whole family. There's something weird. You talk about conspiracy theories. I think there's something going on with that family. There is no way that eating that much herring can get you to having that much of a good family genetic structure.
But I mean, but it was good. The kids were fantastic, man. And the kids, Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, is a completely different character. He is definitely a star of the future because he's not playing the same. Because a lot of people probably thought that he was in Stranger Things and he's going to be the same type of character, and he was a completely different character because he was playing the Richie, the Motormouth character. So it was a whole different thing. And I love that kid who was playing Ben Hanscom, the fan kid and stuff. My God! But the only thing is, okay, I keep saying this, and I can say it. I don't give a crap. So for the miniseries, Mike, the black guy, was the historian, but they taken that role from him and gave it to Ben, who was the architect. And
they're whitewashing it now. They're taking the education.
I'm sorry, they whitewashed it, man.
They're taking the education.
I had to say something negative. Man.
They're taking the smart activity away from the black man.
Why did they do that? They turned the black man into a slaughterhouse killer.
Why did they make him all of a sudden kind of like,
No, he's got the gun. They gave the black guy a gun.
They gave the black guy.
That's what they did, man.
Do you know what?
Oh man, I had to say something.
Going on. One of my favourite comic book characters, and I can't believe it took me so long to watch it, but Logan.
Oh,
like that. I mean, I'll go back. I can remember picking up the X-23 book. I think it was Amazing Fantasy. It was in the new Amazing Fantasy books. It was like a kind of like a small thing. It was the same time when
X-23 started out in NYX.
Yeah, so that was
when she was
because it was at the same
child pornography.
Yeah, because what? No, you don't know the official Marvel line.
Yeah. NYX X-23 started out in a book called NYX, where there was like about 4 or 5 different mutants, and she was like, yeah. So the wrong guy tried to do the wrong thing.
I'm going into the publication history because I think you're talking.
NYX is X-23 started out in NYX, man, and everything, and not only that.
Okay, so.
See, and not only that. But there was also the MC2 Next universe.
Yeah, she was
Tom DeFalco, which she was in, and everything else like that. So what it is what you're trying to say is, it's trying to decide in which way to go with the Legend of Logan or whatever. She had those initial incarnations, and then they created the lore.
Yeah, so the X-23 that I know then, because I didn't know about the NYX. I knew from X-Men Evolutions, but I thought the comic came out before that. No. But it wasn't. But when I picked up that series, at the same time I found Alana. Kind of like it was.
Alana, yeah. And, female Spider Girl.
So it was all weird thing. But I loved the book. I thought it was a really cool take on this whole sort of like, it was basically what happened to Logan, but done to a kid. And trying to capture that, I thought it was very soul destroying, but also her finding a way, and I loved that book, and I've always loved her as a character. I thought that she was
and
really
what was
good.
great is in the Logan movie they actually did.
And that's one of the things. First of all, in the Logan movie, that girl is amazing. I mean, there is when she just starts sprouting Spanish all of a sudden.
Because she is Spanish.
Yeah, but
she doesn't even really speak English.
Yeah, just absolutely. It's sort of like it takes something to take the screen presence away from actors like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart. But holy shit, every single scene she's in, you kind of like
She starts punching him in the face. And stuff.
When she starts. But it's this moment where she does this Hugh Jackman split really quickly, which is kind of like this whole normal split, sort of like straight into fight. And Hugh Jackman's had years to work on that. Holy crap! I can't say enough about her as a character, and I hope that Fox kind of like go, we can do an X-23. So I hope that they do something.
Yeah, I hope they don't worry about that whole should we age her up kind of thing.
I think it would be really good to continue that kind of like that world.
You're right. I mean, that's the gold mine on that girl. And even though, like, Hugh Jackman says, "Hey, look, I'm passing on the torch," like they really should think about, and
they've got so much
time.
But
the problem is, it is the future.
Yeah, I mean, but they've got so much time travel stuff that freaking Bryan Singer's thrown at the X-Men universe now.
Well, yeah, you mean like Cable and Deadpool.
Yeah, but Cable and Deadpool. But I mean, just look at what Bryan Singer did with
Wait a minute, I just thought about
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, but I just thought about that. We have this thing about Cable being from the future, and they're saying, yes, we are going to do the time travel stuff and everything. What if Cable is from Logan?
No,
because they can't do the whole Phoenix and Cyclops and Scotty and all that. That would fucking be amazing.
I tell you what would be...
That would be amazing.
I
said it first.
What would be an even better scene is Deadpool meeting X-23.
No, but
exactly. Go to the future.
Hold on. So let me tell you what I'm trying to say. So we got the whole Cable and Hope storyline. You know what I mean? In the future.
They're not going to bring Hope though. It's not.
No. Listen, we got that storyline. What I'm trying to say is, instead of Hope, because we don't have the Scott and the Jean, do Cable and X-23.
No, but it's a Deadpool movie.
That's not the point. The point is, they already are working on X-Force.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all for that.
So listen to what I'm saying. They're going to have to bring the characters in.
Yeah, but make it a different movie. Sort of like, make it clear it's not Deadpool. That's not going to happen in Deadpool 2. It'd be great in Deadpool 2 for Deadpool to turn up in the future and kind of go, oh, isn't she a pretty girl? Ah! That kind of...
But all I'm trying to say is the fact that, yes, Cable doesn't show up with Laura and everything, X-23 in the Deadpool movie.
Him coming from the Logan
he could come from the Logan universe, and because what his job thing was anyway was bringing in a team of people. So the thing could be is that he can probably travel back to the future and in the end bring Laura in, right? And everything, they could easily do that. They're still shooting the film, but also too is the fact that those other kids who went to Eaton Lake could be the New Mutants. Cable could be at Eaton Lake.
Yeah, it could be.
So all he has to do is say in the Deadpool movie that he came from Eaton Lake. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a nod and stuff like that. So like you're saying, it doesn't have to be in the movie. But I think you would be missing a trick, especially with all of that whole back and forth that they were doing with Hugh Jackman anyway. You'd really be missing a trick to not have her as an Easter egg.
I think that X-Force, you're onto something with him bringing it, and kind of like Wolverine, for whatever reason, Wolverine not being available for that.
Well, he's not, but they can't.
But contract reason. But they've got to make a reason. They can't say, well, Wolverine can't be in his contract's up, so he's not allowed to be a superhero anymore. Yeah. They can't do that. So maybe Cable goes off to the future to bring back that.
Because he's bringing back a team of mutants.
Yeah.
Because something's happening. Because Dark Phoenix is going on and all of that. And like what he does is like what the concept of New Mutants when he first showed up. Even though they were like supposedly teenagers or the adult Archie teenagers, they still was the fact that Cable, especially with the whole Hope thing, loves to train the next generation. So I think he would work more with kids than he would with teenagers. And so for him to be at Eden Lake, for him to have a whole group of people that you got, so Richter was actually in Logan.
Yeah, it was.
So Richter is one of his New Mutants. So I mean, like, the thing about it is, it's like there was a girl talking to animals and shit. What I'm just trying to say is, he could have all of them, you know, Shatterstar and all of them at Eden Lake.
Yeah.
Training.
They could do. You're right. What do you want me to say? I'm not going to argue that point. You could be right about that one.
I'm right.
Well, I still think that she needs to be in Deadpool 2, and Deadpool just needs to get.
Yeah, that's what I just say. You said she didn't need to be in Deadpool 2.
No, you're saying that
an
Easter egg in Deadpool 2, just her.
And she represents, and what I was saying was, she represents the Hope character for Cable. That, like, you know, he was probably, you know, that was their relationship. Because think about it too, is he is exactly like Logan. You know what I mean? So when she gets to Eden Lake, she finds another father figure in him. It's perfect, man.
But yeah, going back onto the whole Logan thing over story.
It's great. Yeah, it's great.
Tearful ending.
Man.
Absolutely. When he,
when he said, "So is that what it feels like?" What did he mean?
Well, before when he died.
Yeah.
I think it was just sort of like finding Pete. I think it was just sort of like finding someone he sort of like
someone who loves him, someone who he can love.
Yeah, someone who he can.
This is what it feels like when someone dies, and you're leaving someone behind.
Oh, I mean,
he's used to everyone dying.
Well, I mean, he's used to maybe it could have. I mean, it's one of those things. It could have easily meant this is what it feels like to die because he's been close to death.
Yeah.
But he's never been.
But you're leaving out the love because the love and pain in her eyes. You know, he's never experienced that because he's like, I'm not gonna die.
But no, I think he has some. The thing is, the Logan character. If you just look at the Logan movie and everything that's been brought up in there, you're right. But he has had that love. He's had a history with Jean Grey. He's had and whatever he's did in the past. I mean, I can't remember if we. Oh no, it was.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. People die on him.
Yeah,
he's dying on someone else.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, so that's why I think it's more kind of this is what it feels like to die for someone.
Yes, that's what it means.
Right. Okay. That kind of like
that was awesome. And do you think that the Albert character, if you're familiar with the comics, of course, you know, the one that he had to fight himself, do you think that because he had his hair slicked back and all that, I think that initially that was supposed to be Sabretooth, right? A clone of Sabretooth, but it was supposed to be Lee Schreiber, but they couldn't work the deal out in the end. But they may have had concept art or whatever, stuff like that. But he looked more like Lee Schreiber than he did Logan. Well, he's Albert. You know Albert. Albert was a clone in the comics of
Wolverine.
Of Wolverine, yeah. So he's Albert, but what I'm just saying is the look of him was very much like Lee Schreiber.
No, I just thought he looked like young Wolverine.
Oh, I think he looked like Lee with the slicked hair and all that.
I just think that he looked like young
But
Wolverine.
you know Lee Schreiber was supposed to be in the movie.
I could imagine that he probably should have been. I could imagine that, I mean, you know, just the history and maybe a flashback of some kind.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know, yeah, like, either way, it was would be in there. I just think that, you know, it was like our choice. So what about the death of Xavier then?
Again, that was sort of like it was a very different. You know, Xavier's scenes were really tough because he plays that Alzheimer's
really well.
You know, and it reminded me there was a great episode of Mitchell and Webb with Sherlock Holmes having Alzheimer's, and there's this moment of clarity. And he has that moment. My nan passed away with Alzheimer's. Yeah, and it was that moment, those moments of pure clarity where he knows what's going on. And the movie just paired it up so well to have some of those moments when they're having fun and they're bonding like a family, and they kind of like, you know, there's this rapport thing going on. The police comes over and they go, "Oh, don't worry about my son," you know. Those moments where
or the family
or
dinner.
the horse, saving the horses and. Those moments just build up to something. So when you kind of like when he's there, he's kind of like going, "It's me, I did it all." It's sort of like, you know, he has that sudden realization of all the things, and he knows he's gonna forget it, and then it just guts you when it's like he's not Wolverine.
Yeah, but what about like like when the Albert Wolverine comes in?
Well, no, that's
no. I'm talking about when Hugh Jackman comes in, right? And he tries his best to convince him that it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Because like I think by the way Patrick Stewart played it, by the look on his eyes, and with the Alzheimer's, he could have thought it was Wolverine.
Yeah.
And like he was really like, it wasn't me. I just want it wasn't me. You know what I mean? And that was the shit that was heartbreaking for me. Was because kind of like, did he get that message in time?
Overall, I think everything about that movie, everyone was 100% on their game.
Yeah.
Directing was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Themes all the way through it. Bad guys were well constructed.
It's like Mango got to redeem himself for the Wolverine.
Fight choreography. It was great to see. X-Men 2, you had like a berserker moment.
Yeah.
But this was...
Because it's ours, rated R.
This was kind of like Wolverine at his greatest. And I was really sort of like thinking, they're not going to have him struggling all the way through. And when he got that injection through, and then he just went, right, okay, I'm happy. Just going hell for leather, slicing through.
No. And then like the Reavers and the guy playing Donald Pierce and everything he did a really good job.
I think everyone did a stand-up job, and it is completely worth all the.
And Stephen Marchant as Caliban.
I thought he was great in it as well. Caliban was with the grenade at the end. Yeah, there was everyone top form on that one, and I can't believe I didn't see it sooner.
No.
But if I had a daughter.
Well, why were you avoiding it or?
No, it's not that. I just didn't have the time.
Oh.
But if I had a daughter, I know for a fact I would have gone through so many tissues just crying. It's one of those moments where I was like, I'm glad I don't have kids right now. I was talking to one of my mates who's got a daughter. I was saying to him, he goes, I've not seen Logan. And I was like, your daughter's 7 years old. That is X20. That is... it is going to hit you hard.
Because, so last scene, like that first scene with her in the shop, just grabbing shit. It was just like... it's just so much going on there.
Fox should look at that. And kind of like
please look at it before Dark Phoenix is finished.
You don't have to have massive holes in the sky with everything pouring through. You don't have end of the world situation. You don't have to. You can do it, but if you have a good storyline, you can work things around.
Well, the biggest notes to them was like, why did you cut the mall scene? Was it Days of Future Past? No, Apocalypse. Why did you cut the mall scene in Apocalypse? Because they shot the mall scene where they went to the mall, and we had that in the comics a couple of times, and they cut it for the movie.
I'll be honest with you, I've not seen Age of Apocalypse yet.
Oh, okay.
Because
anyway, these moments that you're talking about, with the big holes in the sky, they've cut out an actual connection moment with the mutants. The mutants, like they just joined in and stuff, and they all went to the mall together and stuff, and and it just ended up on the cutting room floor, and it was just kind of like, why did you do that? It was a scene before the big Quicksilver scene where he saves everybody and stuff. So
this. Apocalypse is on once it comes on Netflix, I'm going to watch it.
It is.
I refuse to pay for any X-Men movies.
It is a good movie.
Days of Future Past.
It's just a disappointing movie. I think in the theater. I think you will end up enjoying it on Netflix. Whatever.
So this is it. After paying for IMAX for Days of Future Past and being massively disappointed. Is a understatement. I left there feeling a similar way after I left Batman vs Superman, except I wasn't trying to justify anything in Days of Future Past. I couldn't be bothered justifying anything. Whereas Batman vs Superman, I did leave going, well, they did have that good 2 minutes where it was sort of like Batman going through the warehouse.
You didn't like the Quicksilver scene?
No, the Quicksilver scene was the one scene I liked. There was nothing else that I kind of like took away from
Days of Future Past?
No, yeah, Days of Future Past.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like that movie. I mean,
I just thought. I mean, it's just.
I don't. I think. I mean, let's say the last thing on it is the Jennifer Lawrence effect. I think the problem with all of these movies is Jennifer Lawrence. I just read an article where she's saying she's coming back for Dark Phoenix because she wants to redeem herself, and I'm like, just act.
I think
pretty much acted any other movie but this one.
The problem is like what happened with the other X-Men movies. Even going from X-Men 1, X-Men 2, there was such a reliance on Wolverine. Wolverine became kind of like this, and unfortunately, they have made that Mystique. Mystique has kind of like turned into the world builder around that. But her character, her storylines for her characters are all over the place. Her motivations are weird.
Because they tried to indicate that Nightcrawler's her son.
Yeah.
And she had him with Azazel from Days of Future Past. Oh no, First Class. X-Men First Class. But they only try to do that with looks and not with actual dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, but this.
So what I'm trying to say is a disservice to not only the long story but to the characters themselves, because it's fan service and people don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with fan service going in when it adds something to it. So,
yeah.
Or like they do on Guardians of the Galaxy or Marvel, where they just at the end they'll have Howard the Duck appear. You know, that's fan service how it's done right.
Yeah.
Not kind of like using the story, not like just throwing storylines in it. Just kind of like, oh well, if you read the comic books, you'd know about this entire history.
Yeah,
of this
exactly.
You know, it's almost the polar opposite to Superman having the amnesia kiss. Kind of like, But,
I don't know why you brought that up. But
no,
anyway.
do you ever watch Robot Chicken?
Yeah.
Have you seen that with
No.
It's basically Robot Chicken. They do the end of Superman 2 where he kisses Lois Lane because he's like, oh, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. And then it's like a montage of him going to all the Superman characters, villains, and just kissing them and making them become amnesia. It's just really funny. So that's fun. But I watched it recently.
Thanks.
So very quick, last remarks.
So last remarks, I mean, pretty much, we covered several different things. I mean, what we're really doing is these are kind of like fill-in shows before the series all pick off. Even though James wouldn't have seen them, I would have. But
I have got hold of the Flash Series 3. I've got it, so I can watch them now. And Supergirl.
I wish I could say you're going to enjoy it, but
this is my worry about it, because I was bordering teetering on just giving it up after the last series anyway.
After two,
yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I think with the introduction of the elongated man, hopefully that's going to be good. It's just going to be what kind of effect are they going to do or not do.
Just throw out the names of the shows then and call it DC Universe.
Because, it is DC Universe.
Yeah, because but the thing is, if I put on a Flash show, John Wesley Shipp's Flash series, great. Okay, he had one person, Tina McGricky, helping him out, and she helps him with the suits and just figure out.
And his boy didn't even really knew he was a Flash.
And it had that great kind of like he was solving things.
That's not the way it is nowadays. There are no secret identities anymore.
I'm fed up with teams, characters that I love. I mean, if they make a Superman TV series now, they'll put a whole surrounding cast where Jimmy will know who she is, Lois will know. I can't solve these. I've got super hearing, I've got supervision, but I can't figure out what's going on down the street. So Jimmy will have to look something up on the internet. Oh, there's a fed up with
that's
this
what
team.
Supergirl is. And
that's why I like the Marvel series. That's why I like the Marvel.
Well, do you hear about the rumor of Supergirl having the Legion ring? Have you watched Supergirl?
I'm not asked about the Legion. No. Anytime there's a legion of superheroes kind of like crossover in a DC series, I skip the issue.
Only in Smallville, dude.
No, I just skip all mentioned. I don't care about the.
You don't like the Legion?
No.
Okay.
Bored.
My favorite group.
Well, I don't.
Anyway, there's rumor of the Legion ring.
Yeah.
I mean,
she can fly anywhere. What's the point of the Legion ring?
Well, supposedly at the end of Supergirl, Mon-El disappears into a portal, which he does in the actual comics, where he goes into the Phantom Zone, ends up into the future, where he gets a cure. and everything like that. And so, like,
well, we know that the Legion Ring's going to be in it because there was
the Legion Ring has appeared twice.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is they brought it up again, like in stories about I think it's episode 5 or 6 and stuff, that is going to involve a ring, and some think it's going to involve like the wedding of Barry and Nyrus, which is supposed to be the rumor of the big crossover, which I don't want it to be.
But I mean, just quickly going on because we're going to have to go. But last remarks. What do you think about Bruce's gimp mask? He looks like the man in the Iron Mask. You remember that Leonardo DiCaprio film? And he looks like that. It looks like a cross between that or
it's a lot of black, but he's supposed to be Batman, dude.
Or it reminds me of the pre-effects version of the Doctor Doom mask from the Fantastic Four stick. Sort of like just I don't know.
Well, what we've seen in that trailer was that he's going to go to a number of different outfits.
I'd hope so, because if that's the one that he sticks on.
Well, that's the one that, what do they call it? The Dawn of Nights, I think it is. Yeah, well, that's what they...
It just looks weird. And kind of,
I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about it. It has no ears on it. Yeah. If it had ears on it, you'd probably like it.
It just, the whole structure of it looked like Lego Batman, kind of like...
They're working on it, man. I just think they're working on it.
I hope they do, because they're still quite far away from it.
I think they're still quite far away from it. You still have to have a vision of bats coming through his window.
Would you like a 5-minute thing where he's kind of going, people can recognize it first. Maybe I need to go like this. Go to the different guy like,
who are you? Bruce? No, I'm not Bruce.
It's just so like, I would love for that kind of like just a little bit of a sort of
oh man, all right, so yeah, we keep saying it's the last one, but I saw an interview with Gordon, and he was saying that initially, before they changed the direction of the show, when they had the whole Court of Owls storyline, he was supposed to become Talon, because the guys who were the Talons, they didn't really name him as Talon, but they were grooming him to become Talon, and they were moving towards that he would have been the first masked, hero, because he's always been heroic throughout the series. Yeah, Jim Gordon. He was always heroic throughout the series, but then they changed, thankfully, at the last minute. So much stuff is
happening to Jim Gordon. I mean,
I know. It's good that they changed it at the last minute, but I just wanted to drop that air.
But I mean, they also didn't know at the end of that. They thought that was the last series, which is one of
exactly. But then it's like they said they gave them the contract very late in the day and say, hey, we really like how you did that ending, so now you got to make a whole series. And now they're like, what?
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a whole new slate. So
I hope that kind of like they just sort of like with open arms, they just embrace Batman. They just
I think that's where they call it the Dawn of Night, because they are embracing Batman. They realize that's what the people want, so that's why you got Bruce in the gimp outfit. So anyway, so that ends it for us, and good to have Brooksbank back here. We did pretty much about 2 or 3 episodes, or one long one, who knows? And but we'll be back and hopefully talking about more stuff that interests you.
Yep, hopefully.
Color.